As we await a new list and the paint on my wall begins to dry, I wanted to go over some cards that I felt could come off or on the ban list, and the first one that I wanted to talk about was Magispector Kieran, and this is a card that really would support a deck that needs it. Magispector's got new support in Phantom Nightmare. Not having Kieran has made it really weird with the new Draco Slayer Exceed that is intended to summon it out, but when it's not in the game, you're just getting other Magispectors, and I don't know, it's just weird and I feel it deserves to come back. You'll see that we have two versions of it, both rares and both low in quantities. They're both about $6 as well, as I'm just going to hover over this one here. Yeah, $6 for the near mint first ed with shipping included, with the charts going up on both, as I'll show you the other one right now. But the Dimension of Chaos, the original one, you'll see is cheaper, as it is $5.98 or $4.75. So no, really both about $6. We do have a $4.99 with $1.22 shipping. With the $1.22 is always weird to look at. That said, I would like to point out that this is a card that is not only something to get for modern format, but a lot of the cards that I'm going to be showing throughout this video are going to have implications for not just coming format, but older formats as well, as this can be used in things like Magispector format with Pendulum Magicians, or even things like Pepe. Then the next card that I want to talk about is the Wind-Up Carrier Zen Mighty Ultimate Rare, and I know that this is a card not many people fear. There's too many hand traps for Hunter to really be relevant in today's game, in my opinion. But that said, I do think that the Wind-Up Carriers and Mighty is in an interesting spot, because a lot of people have lost hope for it. We really haven't gotten support for it. Konami keeps glancing over it throughout Banlist, and it's a card that I think is really interesting because the Unlimiteds, they're about like $15, $14, maybe $17, and then the near mint first eds go for about like $27. So I think if you want to get a card for a potential upcoming format, or even if you want to play retro and Zector wind-up formats, which I know a small percentage of the player base actually likes that format, then this is something that is a quote-unquote cheap buy, and something that really could go up. Not financial advice, just something I thought was really interesting. If I hadn't mentioned the Goblin Riders already and the generic level 3 stuff that you can potentially do with all the engines that we have in today's game, I just felt this was too interesting to not look at. But then the next card that I would like to talk about is the secret rare version of Thunder Dragon Colossus in specific. I feel like the Ultra, which is the lowest rarity, and the Ultimate Rare, which is the highest rarity, will always kind of be cheap expensive, but the secret rare is a nice version of it, which is at least a little bit affordable. It's $15 right now for a near mint first ed, and if you want to play toss format, or maybe even think that it may be coming back, I feel like this is a card that you may want to get. Again, not financial advice in any way, but just something that people will continue to buy if they continue to think it's going to come back. Quantities will always get lower, people will play previous formats and stuff like that. The next card I would like to talk about is Albion the Sanctifier Dragon, and this is a card that is up on the chopping block right now in a lot of people's brains for something to get banned, as with the new gimmick puppet support, nobody thinks that the puppet is getting banned, even though there is a possibility of it. You never know, and you'll see the chart is on a super downtrend here, but the crazy thing here is that the most recent buy is a $38 buy, so I feel bad for whoever did that, as we do have a bunch of near mint first eds for $14, $17, under $20, and if this does end up getting banned, we could see it spike down lower to something like $1 to $5, as the play will decrease dramatically, and then we'll really have to wait for the appreciation of this past format or two with the Sanctifier Dragon, so that people may want to pick it up and we start to see that price go up again. But for now, I do think that the ban list is really crushing what people are doing right now with their options, and just really hoping here for the player base that we get a ban list that answers all our questions as soon as possible. Then the next card I would like to go over, which also promotes really bad gameplay, same thing with the Sanctifier Dragon, and I don't mean to be negative in any way, it's just something that I would like to see cleaned up in the game, which is if you want to take non-games out of the game, then cards like this shouldn't exist. People have seen it enough with Mana Diem, their Centurion, which solely relies on Hot Red Dragon, Archfiend, King Calamity. We saw this card get banned in the OCG. I'm not really going to go over the prices, they're all pretty cheap to get, but I just wanted to talk about it because if there's something that can improve the game that we can bring attention to, Hot Red Dragon, Archfiend, King Calamity would be one of those things. The next one is Masterpiece, and this one is also known for pretty bad game states, the TCG, and even the OCG way back when, but this is a card card that can also be used for retro formats, funny enough, which may represent its price tag at about 20 bucks for a near mint first ed. So this is a card that is interesting to look at because while the game is definitely getting to a point where we could potentially bring this back, the reason why I don't think that it may come back is because if we ever start to get all those True Draco pieces stuff back, gets indirect support via other cards Konami prints, I still think it can cause problems. We've even seen Stun make a comeback just because it has the ability to do all the extra deck stuff with the card, I forget the name, the one that's able to send a card from the extra deck to the graveyard to protect your monster from destruction. Then another card that I would like to talk about, which also has retro format implications, the Phantom of Darkness Armageddon Knight. And this is a card that if you didn't get back then, it may be pretty expensive for some people's taste considering it is a super rare. That said, Phantom Darkness is one of the most iconic sets in this game, and the cheapest near mint first ed English copy that we have here is $20. So something very important to point out that this is going up. There are multiple formats that you can play this. People are expecting this to come back to 3. And that takes me to my last card, Zodiac Trident. I wanted to talk about Zodiac Trident because this is a card that people want to come back. This is a card that can be played in a couple of retro formats that people may like. And Zodiac Trident came off the ban list with Zodiac Eldish. And then we have the original Zodiac format with the Broad Bull, the Masterpiece, where you could play pure Zoo True Draco, or you could play the True Draco Zoo deck. Just a card here that's also going up little by little as we see that there are no first eds at $4 on the first page there. I think that the closest to a first ed that we get under $10 is about $8. And as you see, we're here at $7 unlimited, and we're still scrolling until we see a 606.99 first ed near mint. So just a card to watch there. The Zodiac Trident just falls in line with all these other cards having past format implications, as well as having implications of cards that could come off and create for some fun playable decks in our modern format. So for everyone who's made it this far, I'd like to thank you for watching and for the 700 plus subscribers. I truly appreciate your support and your patience, and we've monetized the channel, giving us access to supers and memberships, which means more awesome stuff is on the horizon. To get the channel membership, just click on the description below and there will be a link that takes you there. Also notice a free Discord link that I've made for us too. If you want to support me as a content creator, even if you can't donate supers or get a membership for the channel, clicking on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons help a lot too. For those wondering, I do plan on making updates to the channel as the support on the channel grows. Anyways, I hope to see you on the next one. It's Bones, signing